How's everyone doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am well.
Good. I could have had another additional holiday added to yesterday. Ah,
Oh goodness. I'm pretty sure you won't. You're not by yourself with that thought process.
oh, boy, I tell you, it's pouring down rain here. How's the weather in your area?
In Charlotte, it's been raining pretty much throughout the day. The sun did peak out for a moment, but we've been having rainy weather for several days now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anyone else getting rain?
Yes.
It changes your mood. I'm telling you, I could go to sleep at any time. So yeah.
I definitely understand that. I was feeling the same way.
I'm gonna give it about 2 more minutes to see if anyone else is going to be joining us.
I don't want to get up in the morning. I get up at 30 to go to work.
Oh yeah, you poor thing.
Alexandria Blackwell.
Did she say, oh, dark 30?
Yes, you did.
That's wee hours in the morning.
Exactly. Well, that's good, Miss Vicky. There's no rain your way. I know our garden definitely is enjoying the rain that it's receiving because it's just growing um, a lot over this time period. So, but then we have our lawn that's doing the same thing. So that's another thing.
I mean, overall, I think the state just needs it. I think we're in a drought, right? When they started
Yeah,
talking
that was
about
something I
the
didn't realize
different
either.
weight levels.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
there's a lot of people that's already been fined $1,000 penalty. I think it's over 5,000 people that has already been charged so far.
wow.
Exactly. And so you got some people that really are about making sure their lawn is well maintained, and they probably don't mind taking a chance to get that fine, but it's just like it's not really worth it. It's just part of the earth, and it will come back.
I thought some areas allowed you to water your lawns, but you had to do it like between a certain time.
That
Um,
I think in most times they do have a certain time frame, but of course, some people just don't follow the rules. So,
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
but if they can afford it, have at it.
Well, I'm not giving away no money during this season.
I know
I
that's
need,
Same,
right.
honey. I'm
I
trying to
need
get money
every
during the
penny.
season.
Exactly. I'm trying to get every penny I can and save every penny I can.
Ooh,
You
4 o'clock
buy
in
a
the
house with
morning,
all that money,
baby.
Jacqueline.
Hi, Angela. Hey,
Good to see you.
it's good to see you too. It was so wonderful meeting you at the conference.
Yes, it was great to meet everybody,
Yes,
to be
it
able to put
was.
a face with a name, literally.
She cut up the
Yes.
whole time. She being Angela.
Ain't no
Well, that's
better person
I was
but
an
to be.
angel the whole conference.
The whole
yes.
conference she
Yes.
cut up.
You know what? You know what I found out during the conference? Okay, so I'm kind of dating myself, and I'm not sure how many of you are football fans, but I'm a diehard Pittsburgh Steeler. Don't hold it against me. And when I kept thinking about Ozzy's last name, when he finally
Mm.
sat down, I asked him, I said, "Are you related to the former wide receiver John Stallworth for the Pittsburgh Steelers?" And he said, "I am. He's my cousin." It's like, wow,
Small world.
it is a small world. Yeah, I was the only Steeler in a house full of Cowboys, rebels, rebels, rebels.
But the mutual thing was love, okay? So yeah, it's okay to agree to disagree.
Yeah, my dad would tease me. He said, "Had you not been born at home, I would think we had the wrong baby."
Oh Lord.
No, Daddy, I'm yours. I look in the mirror. I look just like you.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Wow.
yeah, yeah. But he did. He said he's John Stallworth was his cousin. Like, wow.
Well, that's neat.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, we're about to get started. I know because of those of us that were able to see each other in person for the first time, or getting to see each other that we haven't seen in a while was like a reunion. So I love the fact that we have this opportunity that we can stay connected in this way while we're learning also. So I think this is definitely a treat for us every week for those that can actually participate. So tonight we're going to cover loose certificates. Many times, some of the information may overlap from one topic of discussion to another just because the relevance of it all. But again, I feel that many of us can definitely still use that refresher as a reminder of certain information that sometimes you just really don't remember which is the right answer. So, again, going over certain material when we actually present a topic of discussion each week and again help us like remember, okay, that's right, or know exactly where to find it because being able to know where to cite the information is really, really important. So that again, when you're wanting to share information with others, it's not coming from us. Okay, we have to make sure people know this is what the law says. This is how the Secretary of State says best practice. So we can always make sure we reference where the information is coming from when we actually again share it. So we're going over fixed and pre-filled certificates and what you can and can't change. Now, remember the Q&A portion. If you have questions, please find the Q&A section of the chat and put your questions there. And then any general comments that you may want to share, you can put it in the regular chat. But at least that will help with us making sure we don't miss any questions for those of you that are not able to speak and those that are not on camera. So again, we can actually try to address those for you. So moving on with striking through and fix and pre-fill certificates, you want to keep in mind the dilemma of pre-fill data. A common hurdle may be notaries frequently receive pre-filled documents containing errors. These errors often include incorrect transaction dates, wrong counties of execution, venue, or pre-typed names of individuals who are not present. The paralyzing hesitation may be many notaries are paralyzed by indecision. What do I do? Falsely believing that altering any pre-printed certificate text constitutes a severe document violation. This fear can lead to rejected transactions or invalid execution. So again, we want to know exactly how do we actually handle a situation like this so that way we can make sure we can assist the customer that's coming to us for the help. So your absolute certificate authority. Your exclusive territory, while a notary may never alter the main body of a document, we can never do that. The notarial certificate, however, it belongs entirely to us, the notary. You have the final say in its completion because by law, and again, that is something that's in our favor. we have the ability to make it correct based on exactly what is required in order for us to make sure we can actually do a fully executed notarization. The obligation of truth. As a commissioned public officer, you are legally obligated to certify exact facts. If they're pre-printed county, which is the part of the venue, as well as the date or names are incorrect. And again, county, state, you should always be in the state of North Carolina, okay? But the county may be Forsyth County, that's pre-printed on the document, but you may be in Wake. So you want to make sure that you take the time to pay attention to exactly what is being read on that certificate so you can make sure that you are factually notarizing all true information from what you have the ability to control. You must correct them to match reality because, again, some notaries are confused with, well, I was commissioned in um, Forsyth County, but what do I put here where it asks for my information? Different certificates have different information as well, where you may have a venue space that has, again, your state, and then it may have the county pre-filled. All right. And again, you want to double check what county are you actually in right this moment while you're notarizing this document. The second part would be sometimes in the body of where someone personally appeared before you, you have a section that says your name as the notary public, the county that you're commissioned in. Those are different things. So you want to make sure if that is added to that part of the notarial certificate that you do put down where you are actually commissioned at. That means where did you go to the Register of Deeds to be sworn under oath after you got your appointment letter from the Secretary of State? That is again the county that you place in that section of the notarial certificate. Preventing accidental fraud, signing a pre-filled certificate that contains false details constitutes a negligent act. Correcting errors is not only permitted, it is a mandatory safeguard. So again, all these things is going to help you make sure you're putting in the right information and being honest on a notarial certificate of, again, who appeared before you, where it was actually done. Standard correction mechanics. So the first one is neatly line out what the error is. And so that is drawing a single solid horizontal, excuse me, drawing a single solid horizontal line directly through the incorrect information. The error must remain legible. Never scribble, erase, or obscure with correction fluid. We understand that when we are working a lot of times with writing something or typing something, and again, back in the day, we used typewriters. Well, now we have computers that we can actually print documents and also correct online. But once we print it, it is what it is. Now, if you make a correction, sometimes again, we want to use a whiteout to actually put a correction over it. And that is okay for non-legal documents that are not being notarized. However, when you're dealing with notarizing a document, everyone needs to know exactly what that error was. So it's clear that they can actually see transparently that, okay, they mistakenly wrote this, they meant to write this, because when you actually strike through, that's indicating to everyone that actually sees that document, an error was made and an error was corrected. So when it comes to correcting it, you want to legibly write the correct details immediately above or adjacent to the stricken text using permanent non-smudge ink matching the original signature color. So the goal is to have the same ink color for you, the notary, as well as what the signer is using. So everything can be consistent with the ink color that's on the document. And then initialing and dating. Always initial and date the correction. This verifies that you, the officiating notary, made a change at the exact moment of execution, creating a clear audit trail. So again, you want to make sure you strike through very neatly, correct it also very neatly, like either above or adjacent to the area that was crossed through or strike through, and as well put a date after your initial or your initial and then your date beside it, so it can be very clear of the time frame of when it was done, and it should match exactly what your date for the notarial act is, because everything should be done at that same time. So again, it's important when it comes to the order of operation. You want to go to page 64 in your manual, in your 2026 manual, and this is where you will be able to find more details of what the manual actually covers on this topic. So when it comes to North Carolina focus, handling absent signers, and I know I had talked to a notary last week about this. If there's two names on a certificate, when a certificate lists two names but only one individual appears before you, you must line through the absent person's name. Again, if there's more than one person's name listed on the certificate, but you only have less than everybody that's there, you need to make sure that the only people that's before you are the only ones that are accounted for. If there's additional names, we must again strike through that name to make it clear that this is not a person that I'm witnessing before me, because that can often be another issue of fraud, where someone can say that one person got their name notarized before you, and that may not be true. So the goal is the notary certificate is telling a story, exactly what has occurred. Then protecting the execution. Never permit the absent name to remain on the certificate. Strike it completely. Write your initials and date the change. And then in your journal, this is another backup. Document the correction explicitly in your notary journal, detailing exactly whose signature was verified. And of course, based on who's before you, when you're capturing signatures, well, you can only gain the signature of the person that is in front of you. Okay, so that is the goal, is to make sure that everything that occurred is again documented for your records, because that document itself is not going to stay with you. So you want to make sure you're finding ways that you're keeping up with everything that took place during that time and that date. So when it comes to statutory and regulatory citations, this is where you can find information when it comes to the sources. We have our North Carolina General Statutes, Chapter 10B. If you go to Section 312, it defines the notarial certificate as a portion of a record completed solely by the notary. In the North Carolina Administrative Code, you can find in Section .0101, it covers the governing of the notarial acts, conduct, and strict discipline of state public officers. And then in our, again, 2026 North Carolina Notary Manual that hopefully everyone has right now, or at least has ordered and waiting for it to be delivered, because we do need to have it by June 1st, which is Monday coming. It provides explicit instructional guidance on single line corrections, absent signers, and initial protocols. Then when it comes to correction best practices, as a reminder, what you must do. You want to verify pre-printed venue and dates before executing. Neatly line out errors to keep them visible. Place your initials and the current date near changes. Log the alteration details in your official journal. Now, what you must not do are never use whiteout, correction tape, or eraser fluid. Never alter the main body text of the document itself. Never notarize a pre-printed name of an absent signer. And never predate or postdate any certificate details. Now, I've heard where you have companies that may hire a notary to execute a notarization for them, for their client. And when it comes to dates, it's really important that we pay attention to that, because there could be, again, a predate or a post date, and we cannot allow that to move forward, we need to correct that if it's in our notary certificate. There is a date of the document. If the date of the document may not be today's date, then it should be a previous date, not a future date on that document when it comes to the date of the document. So there is a difference in dates on paperwork. We just have to make sure we understand what we are recording. So again, if the document shows that it was a date prior to today, we will document that in our journal when it comes to the date of the document. But when it comes to when it was actually notarized, that should be today's date always. So if you're wanting to come to any of the upcoming training classes, we do have a few coming up in June. We just actually had our 2-day Notary Basics Accelerated workshop that was online this past weekend, Friday and Saturday. And we have an online signing agent class through Carteret Community College next Tuesday and Wednesday. These are half-day classes. So if this is something that you do want to take advantage of, please actually take the time to actually notate this so you can actually be able to join, because if you wait until Monday to actually sign up, you may not be able to actually join the class because of the process of them adding you to the registrar, making sure you have a login and an account to participate. So again, I don't want anyone to be disappointed when you cannot be able to do this. So if you want to take advantage of that, you can actually click the featured link and again sign up, or at least look and see about the classes. The next upcoming class in June is June 12th and 13th. Is the in-person Charlotte location for your signing agent class. That's an all-day class on Friday, and then we will lead on to Saturday with fingerprinting, as well as a policy facilitator and courier class that will be again Saturday. So fingerprinting will be that morning leading to the afternoon when we have our lunch break. We will pick up the apostasy facilitator and courier class. Now there is a special if you want to take advantage of all 3 classes, where you're going to save about $70 just again taking all 3. So again, if that is something that you're interested in taking, so you can actually add on to your service offerings, this is an opportunity for you to do so. Again, if you want to click that link, I have it in the feature, so you can actually do that as well. Last but not least, I will be in Morehead City, Lord willing, at the end of June. So June 26th, 27th is another in-person opportunity for you to take the 2-day Notary Basics Accelerated workshop, where you can, again, learn about the different documents that you will find in acknowledgement, a jurat, a verification, or proof. You will also learn how to notarize an absentee voter's ballot and how to inventory and abandon safe deposit box. Some notaries are looking to offer that to a lot of financial institutions. That's not a bad idea, because their notaries legally are not supposed to inventory those boxes. So again, if you can actually present yourself as someone that knows exactly what to do and how to do it, this class will actually show you, give you the opportunity to go through the motions. So my in-person classes give you the opportunity to actually see documents, be able to notarize it for another notary when it comes to our mock signing exercises. And this is the biggest reward, is the fact that you don't have to feel as nervous when you actually with a customer that needs you to notarize a document. We have over 16 plus documents in this workshop that you will have access to, that you will keep. I created one of our notary students calls it her notary document journal, because it actually covers so many of the documents that she has been introduced to right after the class, that she was able to refer straight to that resource to accommodate and actually notarize for her customer. So this again is a good way of you actually having the tools that you need without feeling like you don't know what to do and how to do it. So again, these are the 3 classes that's upcoming in June. I hope those of you that have had graduates, congratulations to your graduates. Again, this is an exciting time for them to have elevated themselves, and you can let them know about they have the opportunity to become a notary at the age of 18. This is something they can actually provide services to their classmates. And again, they need to know how serious, of course, they need to take this position as a public official. And who is better to lead the way than you by the example that you can set and be able to, again, help them when they have questions? Because, again, the goal is to each one teach one, and you have the opportunity to do that as well with those youths. So now we're going to turn the sharing off so we can go to any questions that we may have here in the audience about what we covered. Again, that is something I want to make sure that we can go over together. And if you have other questions that may not be based on the topic of discussion for tonight, we should be able to get to those questions for you as well, or any comments that you want to make. So, who wants to be my moderator for tonight to actually manage the Q&A for me?
I can do it. Go ahead.
I'll let somebody else do it.
It's usually me or D. Somebody else can.
Yep.
But come on, team. Take one for the team. Somebody else do it.
So, for those of you that may have joined for the first time, I am actually watching to see who's I can see on camera, because there is a running drawing. So, for those that, again, I am able to put in the drawing of who's been visible for the last 4 meetings, I will be able to, again, gift you a mentorship that is 3 months. It's 45 minutes that you'll be with me on the first or third Monday. There is a time frame between 2 and 6 o'clock that you will be able to choose, and you will have the opportunity to ask me anything, allow me to help you with everything in that moment in time, where I will be able to go through, again, mentoring you on everything notary. Okay, so it's all about what is going to benefit you, me meeting you where you are. And this is something that I'm hoping that can help you to actually see that this is the place for you to be. Again, I don't know other state notaries that offer the things that I do for my Carolina people. And I'm glad and honored to be able to do that, because God has just blessed me with different ideas that seems to work really well when it comes to how I can deliver the information to help notaries receive it and thrive. As long as you are taking action, studying, paying attention, you are going to do well. So, D or Jack, either one of you guys, because I know you guys are my ride and die right now. So that's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Michelle
D, how about I'll
said-
take one and you take one? I
Okay.
only see
which one?
2.
Okay. Michelle, is that how you pronounce her name? I hope I'm saying it correctly. Should a
It's
signer
Michelle.
okay. Should a signer also initial the line out? I guess a strike through.
So, when it comes to the corrections that they make, that is something where we oftentimes don't tell them what to do, because that's advice. So we ourselves are the ones that's responsible for knowing what we can do on the notarial certificate. But if something in the body that needs to be corrected, then we can document if they did make a correction. Because again, we can't answer questions that's considered advice. Hopefully, we can tell them that they can actually talk to someone else that can properly help them with what those questions or answers to that question is. But again, we want to steer away from answering any questions of what to do when they actually make an error. So that, again, the hypothetical is I may share with them, well, I personally, if I make an error, this is what I have to do to correct my error. I cannot tell you how to correct yours. But again, that can help them hopefully figure out what their options may be in that situation. But the goal is to make sure that we're never guilty of unauthorized practice of law, because as simple as what we know what they can do, we can't tell them. All right.
Okay. So this is my question, because you briefly mentioned the safe deposit box.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a young lady that works for a state employees credit union, and
Okay.
she declares that there is an exception for credit unions as far as their notaries being able to check safe deposit boxes.
And unless she can show you where that's at, that's
That's
a
what.
lie.
Okay, because I was like, okay, I'm not going to challenge you on this, but it's my understanding that you all aren't supposed to be doing that. And she said,
It's
well,
a
there's an
conflict of
exception.
interest. There's
Okay.
no exceptions. There's nothing that shows in the law. And again, I would challenge anybody to show me otherwise and prove to me, because it specifically says no one that is a bank officer, staff member, a notary of the bank is a conflict of interest. Because anything can happen with the confines of what's in the box, where an employee of the bank, the banker themselves, and even the locksmith, they could be in, in a position that they're actually working together
Mm-hmm.
to steal. That
Okay.
should not ever happen. So that's why they need to have someone that is unbiased, okay, in that situation, which is an outside notary, to actually inventory the box.
Okay. Thank you for that, because I'm going to find that information and show it to her.
Can I
It's
add
right
on?
in our. Go ahead,
I
D.
I went to I don't know, 2 or 3 banks last week, and I had to conduct some business, but I also left in my business cards, like we were taught to do. And when I went to the state employees credit union, and I said, because she asked about my business, and I said, "Oh, here's my business card. If you all need an outside notary, because I know there are some things that you all cannot do." And she said, "Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much." Now, when I went to Truist, the lady tried to pull the same thing. No, True Lion. She tried to say, "Oh, well, we can notarize anything." And I said, there are certain things that you all as employees are not allowed to notarize. You have to have an outside party to do it. And here is my card, so feel free to call me.
Mm-hmm.
But state employees, she was like on it. She agreed. But when I went to True Lion, she had a different mindset, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, with that being said, Beth Eller, she's one of the board members when it comes to the e-mortgage closing conference. She does a lot with that party when it comes to North Carolina. So I personally will probably bring that to her attention, that she may want to send a memorandum to all of the branches so they know that they need to be in compliance if that's what's happening. Because again, Trueline is one of the supporters and sponsors of the Secretary of State conferences. And I would hate for them to have an employee that's doing something that is completely against the law, and she been in a position of representing that branch or branches of True Lion. So yes, Beth Eller, she is the VP.
Okay. So, in that same understanding, if you have an account with either one of these credit unions, can you still do it as an outside notary, or is that against the law?
No, it's not against the law, and yes, you can, just because you're considered a customer. If you're a shareholder, then that's a whole different ball game.
Oh,
But
okay.
as a customer, that's not what you are automatically. So
Okay.
again, it actually breaks it all down to actually help us identify exactly who we can and who we cannot be.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
D, are
And
you going to take that next question?
In the Q&A.
Yes.
Oh, Vicky said, when I take my business card to a bank, I attach the North Carolina general statute that says bank notaries can't do it.
you go, Miss Vicky.
Of course, Vicky would do that.
Oh, I love Vicky.
That is a Vicky move.
Go,
She said
Vicky.
she ain't got time for the back and
We
forth,
got
and I don't either.
time. I'm just gonna give it right to you in black and white. Here it is.
Okay. There's a question. I didn't get Sarah's last name. She was like, "Is there anything online that cover abandoned safe deposit boxes?"
The best resource is your notary manual, and it will give you the statutes that covers it as well.
Okay. Okay.
And so,
I'm sorry. And I'm sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt, but thank you for answering. But could someone type that in the Q&A field so I can look it up later?
I did type it in the QA. I said, question asked by Sarah. I like to, is there anything online that cover abandoned safe deposit boxes? So I did put your
Okay.
question today.
And Sarah, what version of the notary manual do you have?
I had the one that came out before this one.
Okay. So the one that came out before this one, you can find that. Are you driving right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So if you go to
Yeah.
page 60, one has the example of what one looks like. But if you go to page 59 in the 2016, the inventory of abandoned safe deposit box, and the reference is General Statutes 53C 6 13A. That entire paragraph leading to the next page will answer those questions in detail. This definitely can help when it comes
Okay,
to
yeah.
if you're wanting to market yourself, to share with bankers of why it's important for them to network with outside notaries that are independent that can actually assist them in this matter so that other notaries won't be violating the law, jeopardizing their commission because it's that serious. To a point that they can audit the bank for every inventory that they've ever done. And I don't think they really want to have that can of worms open. So again, I will share things very, very detailed in the fact that this is again what the law says and not us. Any other questions?
I want to add to that. When I went to Truist a few weeks ago, I was opening up my business account because my coach said I need to do that. Um, when I was talking to the gentleman and he was asking about my business or whatever, and he was also a notary, and he asked for my card because he said even in the banks there are other things that they are not allowed to do as well because they don't have like that training. So they are not allowed to do like trusts, wills, estates, or things like that nature either. So he
Mhm.
said he would refer the customers to me whenever they got those customers that needing those to be
Mhm.
done. But so it's not just a safety deposit boxes. There are other things that they're
Mhm.
not allowed to notarize.
And a lot of times customers don't know that until they need specific documents notarized and they're telling them, I'm sorry, we cannot. And again, that doesn't help them if that's their customer. And a lot of times they do go to their bank because they don't have to pay for the notarial acts that's been notarized. Of course, been at an independent notary, we are probably going to charge them as we have the law supporting that we can, up to $10 per notarized signature.
Right.
All right, so we got 19 minutes, guys. So let's make the
Belinda?
most of this time.
Hey, Belinda, it's Michelle Party. I did have a question just relating to what you just
Michelle.
said.
Yes.
So the bank, we know that the banks can't do the notary, and if they need someone for out, they need the outside notary to come in. You can go in and notarize it. But pertaining to wills and estates, remember you said you probably will need two witnesses. Would you be able to use bank employees for the witnesses?
So for bank employees as witness, well, the thing is those documents, because they're usually something that they cannot notarize, then you won't be doing it at the bank, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But if I was, would I be able to use a bank employee as a notary?
Um,
Say, let's say they're in there, they have their paperwork, and it's like, oh, this lady just came in yesterday. Let me call and see if she can come. And I go and we notarize there. Would we be able to use the bank employees, or would that be considered conflict of interest or illegal?
Well,
More
there's nothing,
importantly,
and there's nothing in the legislation that says that it is. It does specifically say that if you're dealing with a signer, that's usually a patient or a resident of an assisted living facility at the hospital, when they reside somewhere, it's illegal for their staff member, a doctor
right,
of that particular facility to actually be a witness.
right,
They're not living at the bank, so that would not actually be the same thing. And again,
Okay.
the law doesn't show in statutes that there would be a conflict of interest or that they cannot have anyone else. What it does say, they cannot benefit from the transaction.
right,
Okay, they can't be named in the transaction. So, with that being said, then that's how we can actually identify, in that scenario, who's considered someone that can be a witness, and they themselves have to actually know beyond a shadow of a doubt they're not a beneficiary when it comes to them being sworn under oath or given an affirmation when it comes to their testimony.
right. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily be best practices, but if you had to do it that way, it wouldn't be illegal.
It won't be illegal at all. No,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Vicky says, my secu will notarize anything if you bring your own witnesses.
Say that one more time. Who?
Her state employees credit union will notarize anything if you bring your own witnesses.
So again, they may notarize a lot of different documents. I know that I talked to a bank manager to ask, is there a limit of what type of documents that the bank can actually notarize for their notaries, or their notaries can notarize for their customers? And they specifically said, yes, they cannot notarize all documents because of the liability when it comes to certain documents that they don't want to take the responsibility of. And so many times when it comes to anyone being turned away, it's usually a lot of the estate planning documents that does, again, may have a conflict. I don't know with the bank itself because when it comes to who is the beneficiary of their account, any of those things may be tied into that as a reason or a problem. That I am not certain. But again, based on the bank, they have these conditions. That's not part of the legislation. So they have their own set of policies that they follow. I should say their staff is supposed to follow based on what they have for the staff.
I don't see anything else.
I don't either. Let's check the
Did y'all
calendar.
fall asleep on me tonight? I know that water, I mean, I know that rain is therapeutic and makes you want to actually just, you know, just turn your head a little bit.
Um, Belinda,
I see
when
that
will
Angela has her raised, huh?
oh, I apologize. You said someone had their hand raised and I was asking a question. Go ahead. You said
Okay.
someone had their hand raised. Okay.
So
You
Angela
can
has her,
go ahead.
her hand raised.
Go ahead. Jacqueline can ask. I have a comment. Let's get your questions. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to find out, when are you in Greensboro again for the 2-day class?
It'll be in July.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And July my birth month too, just an FYI.
Oh, okay. Well, we will celebrate you all month then.
Oh, you got that right.
That's one way to do birthdays. Celebrate all month.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's what I do. September come around, it'll be the whole month.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. All right. Angela, go ahead, please.
All right. I just want to throw in this comment. Belinda, this is really good what you've shared with about the loose certificate. And you know, I'm always going to plug it into work because I always can make a connection between notary work and mortgage lending, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not just that we need to know what it is we're doing and what the right thing is, but have in your mind, why are you having to do it the way that we talk about? What is the end story of the document that you're notarizing? For me, I have to paint the financial story of a borrower who will never talk to the underwriter, right? And for us, we have to make sure that we do it well, because ultimately you're telling a story to the register of deeds, to a judge, to a medical facility. So it's not just so important to know this is the way you do it. Make sure you write this, have in your mind and know why you do it that way. Like you were talking about making sure if it's a pre-printed loose certificate that you put the correct county on it. There's a reason you do that. There's a reason you date and time what you in your journal, should it ever come up. That way you don't have to recall it in your mind. So it's good, and we definitely need to know the what of what we're doing. We understand the why, it makes a lot of sense, and it probably will take away a little bit of nervousness, and
Yeah.
maybe some apprehension about things. Not just to know the what to get it off your list of what to do, but why are you doing it and why do you have to do it this way?
And I appreciate that because again, for me, personally, that's the reason why I kind of get the history of a lot of things that I may want to participate in because I really want to know the significance of the why. I was always a curious child and asked a lot of why questions as a kid. So it didn't really stop as an adult either. So it just helps me really know the significance and the benefit of what it is that I'm contributing if I'm doing this. And so I know some people are not in that same headspace where they just want to get it done and they don't care. But I feel that that can be a little bit more of a careless error that could cause more problems if you don't take the time to find the why before you do something to actually understand the benefits of it on either way. So that is something I would just encourage others to have that curiosity as well. And to also add, when it comes to a loose certificate, you want to always, again, remember the loose certificates are our responsibility to staple it to the documents that it's supposed to be referencing. So it's attached. So we should have a stapler as well as staples so we can make sure that we do our due diligence to follow through the entire process of what we're responsible for. And that is also in the general statutes as well in our manual. So we have time for we have 10 minutes so we can actually go over any other questions or comments. For those of you that are going to be joining us tomorrow night for our Wednesday Notary Wisdom learning session, where we're covering part one of the 2026 manual. Again, I have actually emailed everyone that originally registered before the first class was on last Wednesday. So you should have received an email from me, um, a calendar invitation for tomorrow night and Wednesdays to come so that you can actually plug it into your calendar, add your notifications, so you will have that remembrance. For those that are not active on Facebook, that is going to be very helpful. So I try to make sure that I kept in contact with everyone that did register, and that way, again, you'll have access to the link that you can now access it because the original registration link is no longer valid because that was just for last week. And so now the new link that you have is for every week going forward, the same time from 8 to 9. Miss Vicky, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, just want to share what I was able to do last week. I took the session at the conference from Dean about estate packages, and he said, there's 9 documents that are part of an estate package. And my AARP meeting last week was supposed to have a speaker from Edward Jones coming and talking about estate planning. Well, she couldn't show up. So I said, okay, I'll talk. And I talked. and I talked, just here are the documents, and I got a lot of good questions from the people. So don't turn down ad hoc questions coming up. I kind of let them name which documents they want to talk about in the order, and then I fill in the ones that were left over. But there's 9 documents. It's part of the estate package potentially. Not all of them are there going to be every time, but yeah, it was
Right.
a quite lively conversation, and they seem to appreciate it. I may not get any signings from them, but I do it at the senior center, which I do at no charge anyway. So if I did it there, it wouldn't do me any good. But yeah,
No, it does do you good because you are still giving service. And it shows others the knowledge that you have when you are in that role of being able to educate them. So this is something that I encourage all of us to do. Find places that we can actually speak, so that we can actually share our knowledge. And again, we have to make sure we give a disclaimer that we are not advising anyone. We're just giving them education information that can hopefully be found and cited, okay, when it comes to the general statutes, the administrative code, as well as our notary manual when we're in that position. This gives us authority, this gives us credibility, and it just helps others trust us more when we actually facilitate those types of roles. So they're definitely something that others are hoping to gain for communities like assisted facility living facilities and other elderly care places that we can definitely help them with some information that we can provide and definitely notarize for them when the time comes.
Dewana wants to know if it's too late to register for the notary manual review.
Well, if you did register before, you will need to actually contact me. I just need the information that the registration would request, which is your full name, your email address, and phone number. This helps if when I email many of you, I have not had an opportunity to have an interaction via email, so it's going to go straight to your spam, and you are not going to even know that I sent it. Me having your phone number allows me to actually follow up to let you know, hey, I sent an email from this email address. Please check for it. So that way, again, if you're not one to actually look at your emails often because you got a lot of spam, then this will help you look for it intentionally and then be able to find it to make sure that you're keeping up with that date. So as long as you provide those 3 things, I should be able to add you to the invitation for tomorrow night.
Okay.
Wow, the silence. Ooh, baby.
One thing I may suggest, and this I've been going over as I look around and see what else I can do, also looking presentable. Now, this may sound redundant to some, but once in a while, it's a good idea to look over your wardrobe and see what still works and what doesn't. So I must admit I've been paying some attention to that, because when we go into these facilities, you got to look the part.
You right. You want people to take you seriously when it comes
Yes.
to how you're going to be able to assist them and then that you're kind of like an extension of them. If you are actually going to help their residents, then yes, that is something that I also try to educate notaries is that you don't want your swimwear to be your professional wear when you're actually out assisting a client.
Definitely not.
Okay.
I don't know if
No
anybody
different.
saw the TV show What Not to Wear. It was on a few years ago on TLC.
Oh,
But
yeah.
their rules are pretty good to go by, but it's just a suggestion. So
I appreciate that, Sarah. Yes. It's not just a suggestion, but it's highly recommended.
Mhm, mhm,
And it's
mhm.
almost just like you guys, if you go across or you go to someone's profile, if you're wanting to do business with them, if you feel that you're wanting to actually promote them or support them, many times you're basing your decision on their image. So when we refer you to someone, you're looking at, okay, Do they look like they're about business? Or do they seem like they're someone that's unreliable? Because whether we like to admit it or not, we can be judgmental whether we speak on it or not, because image is everything when we actually see something. And it's the impression. Now, we may have to talk to ourselves to say, you can't be judging that person. You don't know what they're going through, what's happening with them. But again, it's an instant thought, okay, of how we really feel, even when we're not speaking out loud. So you want to make sure that when it comes to just like your profile pages, I've seen some profiles that I'm saying, okay, well, I'm not going to recommend this person because I don't feel that they are going to represent that client or customer well based on what I've been able to monitor and see. Something I teach my kids, I tell them whatever you put on the internet is going to be there. So be very mindful. They're going to either listen or not. They're going to have to listen, learn the hard way if they don't. And again, I've given them that encouragement of what to do and why. And again, you can take that however you want, but that is something you may want to look into to clean up certain profiles, because that can actually be the reason why you haven't got that job interview. That may be the reason why you haven't got that assignment, because if people are like I am to protect their brand and their reputation when it comes to who I refer or who they refer, this can be one of the reasons why you're not actually getting business. Okay. So you have to check yourself and really understand how people's perception may be. Even if it's not right, it's an opinion and everybody's entitled to that. So if they're the ones who's actually making the decision, you want to make sure they have no reason to deny moving forward with you if they're just seeing you on social media, on LinkedIn, on your website, on Google Business Profile, anywhere when it comes to taking you seriously. And I have Tina and then D.
Yes, I was gonna say, and we are judgmental. We're just people are
We're
just
people.
judgmental, right? And I also do that over the phone. Like if I'm calling someone to see, possibly work with them for an apostille courier, whatever, and you answer the phone crazy or not professional, it's a short phone call.
Yeah.
They'll remember. They'll
Yes,
remember.
because it's to me, your voice, how they teach us when we answer the
Hmm.
phone, you should sound happy, welcoming, stuff like that. So it's important not only that we are parents as well, but also when we get those phone calls that we're answering our phones professionally. And that's even if I know you. Like if
Hmm.
I'm calling Deonica or something like that, or she's calling me, I'm still going to answer the phone professionally, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's another thing just to keep in mind.
Thank you for that, Tina. I have a friend, and oftentimes that's what he says. Oh, you don't have to talk like that when we're on the phone. Talk like what? I'm gonna talk like I need to talk when I'm on the phone. All right. And I have D. You're next.
I was also going to add to that, um, because this happened to me. For some of you that don't know, I work in the operating room, and we had worked a holiday. We had taken a group photo, and before I post pictures of other people, I get permission to post them because not everyone wants to be posted, and I understand that, and I get that, and I respect that. But the question was asked, everyone said yes, so someone tagged me in the picture, and then someone in the picture who had given permission
Okay.
came back and said that she didn't. So then I got called to the office um, because of what was posted. I mean, it wasn't anything like horrible or anything, but because of what picture that was posted that should not have been posted. But
Mm.
I was like, I didn't even know I was tagged in it, first of all, because I'm not on Facebook like that. Um, so just be mindful. So I have changed the privacy settings on my personal page. Like I have to review it before people can tag me and things because I don't want that to happen again. So just
And
be
that's
mindful of
understandable.
that. And I tell that to all the students when I do career days and stuff like that. Like be mindful of who you're with, who you're posting, who you're seeing with, and what kind of pictures you're taking that have been posted, because it might come back to bite you in the butt. And jobs, places are looking at your social media pages for such things.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I disassociated myself with quite a few people going through their socials and realizing we don't have the same beliefs in certain things that would definitely be insulting to me and my family. And they often wondered, okay, why are you not actually answering my calls? It has a lot to do with my principles. And it's okay for me not to explain myself, because at this point you showed me who you really are, and now I'm detaching myself from you because that is not who I want to be around. And so that is something that is like some hard truths, whether it's family or friends, that I've had to do over the years. So again, sometimes we find ourselves having to make those decisions because of exactly what's happening. Um, did you want to share something, Jackie?
Um, what I was just going to say is, again, because of our role, we are representing the public. It's very important that not only do we represent by our image, but even by association, just like you said, because um, I worked hard to get this notary license, and I've already I've invested my hard-earned money into getting this. So I'm gonna do everything I can to protect it. But one thing that I was always taught as a child, how you present yourself gives people the illusion of how you handle your work.
Yes.
So, if I'm all raggedy looking, then if you decide that I'm looking for a notary, your first impression could possibly be they don't even really care about their appearance, so they may not even take that kind of care that I'm requiring for the type of documents that I need to be notarized. So I mean, again, perception is everything.
It
That
is.
it is
That
everything.
im-
So you just
that
have to.
first impression, woo, baby.
It is, because you may not get a second chance. I tell my
Right,
kids the
exactly.
same thing. First impressions are everything. And then I used to tell them, especially when they would turn in assignments and things at school, um, I'm that parent that I don't allow you to erase and erase and erase, and the paper's all jacked up by the time you try to
I am
turn.
too.
I'm like, no, you're not going to do that. I said, because the person may never meet you, but if they read this essay, they're going to form some type of opinion based on how you've presented the essay. So
Right.
it's just important.
I appreciate that, Jacqueline. So, as we close, it is 7:35. For those of you that have not purchased a notary journal, the link for journals that I create, they are accessible on Amazon. I have Juneteenth journals that I put out on the Facebook page today. For those that want to celebrate and honor their beliefs of Juneteenth and what it means to them on June 19th, that's upcoming, and you will have it probably within 2 days after you place your order. For those that may want to learn more about what training opportunities that I offer, you can also click that link that's here in the feature, as well as follow and subscribe, please, to my channel on YouTube, where you'll be able to actually gain access to these replays and be able to learn more on your self pace. Where again, if you're not here live with us, you have the ability to catch up with what you may have missed, and gain some insight on other things that's definitely of value to you, and for you. So again, it's from a notary to notaries of North Carolina, because the goal is for you guys to be well educated and well versed on the notary laws that govern us here in North Carolina that you may not see other places. So again, if you're watching the replay, please subscribe, like, and share this with fellow notaries. I've had some notaries already communicating through certain YouTube videos, because that's another way of getting your name drawn or added to the drawing for the ability to win that mentorship with me. And again, I thank you guys for your support. Because of you, I am able to do what I do. And again, you guys show up and you're showing up for yourselves. Okay. And I do, again, appreciate exactly what it is that you bring to the table, because we all have something of value beyond our notary hat. Okay. Because there's so much more in store of who we are as a person that just embodies everything. And notary is a complement to what it is that we currently already do. So I look forward to hopefully seeing some of you tomorrow night. And if not tomorrow night, next Tuesday, same time, same space. So have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good
Have a
night,
good evening.
everyone.